It was a challenge for everybody since the get-go. It was like the abomination, right? That thing that's going to come out from hell. And for me, the idea of an abomination was going to be the scariest thing you can imagine, right? Like whatever is the scariest thing for you, that's going to be the thing that's going to come out from hell. And in this case, Mia is the character that is facing it, so it is this vision of the most decadent vision of herself. And in my mind, it was what she would have ended up being if she was keep doing drugs and end up being this junkie, this decadent person, like skinny and with a weird body, and all that came from what would be Mia's imagination of what was the worst version of herself. Hell sent her worst fear.
Come here, you bitch.
And yeah, the creation of that was a lot of, see how we're going to do this, how it's going to be the best way to approach this character, how we're going to create it. And we knew that we didn't want to use any CG, we didn't want to generate anything in the computer. And that's the way it is in the movie at the end. It's something that is, what you're seeing is real flesh. And yeah, and of course the movement had a lot to do with how the thing moved, and all that is something that you do on the pre-production with the team, and we learned a lot of what we could do with the movements and what was scary and what was not. And action. The way we created, we find the body on one side, and Jane did all the face work, of course.
Oh, that was really good. Let's do a boot
now. Okay. All right. Am I going to be able to handle that? Yes, I am.
Going one more time. Do that again? Give me a friendly smile.
Okay. Oh, dear.
But everything you see is real flesh. We didn't generate a CG creature, CG for me, of course, is computer generated, and there's nothing that is generated in computer. Everything is real, we just put it together.
I will feast on your soul.
The whole movie was really technical, to be honest. The shots are really specific, and you can tell, and we have to be in really specific places, and we have to time out with the camera and everything. And especially the action sequence was very technical. Which in some way I was happy about. It just meant less time under that rain. Really.
And action!
Well, when I read the blood rain in the script, I was just like, that's crazy. How is anyone going to work in that environment? Being a film crew, shooting with just raining, every bit of your gear will get covered in it. On this movie, we're looking at around 25,000 litres of blood. And certainly the volume of blood on this movie is well beyond anything we've ever done before.
Hey! What are we waiting for?
Getting the rain up, saying sorry.
And with news since day one, it's not about just the precision of how we're going to do it. It's just no way to do it, to fake it. It's raining blood on you. You're going to have to rain blood on the characters. There's just no way to create that in a computer. Maybe some ways, but not in a cool way. So we really had all this huge, massive rig and pumping blood all over the set for that big scene, and it really pays off because at the end it's just like epic.
That action sequence took place over 10 days, I think, 10 night shoots, plus a little bit more days in the studio. So maybe all in all, that action sequence was like 15 days. It was tough. It was tough. But what we did on location, since it was so cold, is right after we'd finish a take, we'd take an outdoor shower, really hot water, and then they would reset us, and then right before action, they'd come over with a watering can and pour red dye all over you, and it was a long process. I'm glad it's over.
The amount of blood spent there was really, really, really tricky, but really funny too. I mean, I remember one day getting off set, finishing one of those blood rain days, and And I will do the car, and I will go to the stop by the supermarket to get something for my fridge, and I'm walking in the supermarket, and suddenly I just, I realize I'm covered in blood, like my pants, my jacket is just covered in this fake blood, but I'm just so embarrassed. I felt like, if the police stop me now, I'm gonna have a hard time explaining why I'm covered in blood. But yeah, everybody ended up covered in blood after those days.